everyone, I'm Heather and I'm going to show you how to set up a development environment for building Thunderbird on a Linux desktop. Specifically, we're using Ubuntu 24.04 because it is a often used operating system that is an LTS. So we're going to start by installing Python 3 pip and mercurial. Mercurial is the version control system that we use for Thunderbird instead of maybe Git. It's just older, more mature, I'd say. One day we will move to Git, but in the meantime, we get to have fun with Mercurial. The Python packages are going to be used by mach, which is a tool that Mozilla has. But first, we're going to clone the repository. And you do that with this hg-clone command. So you can see I made a tb build directory and went in there to clone this Mozilla Central repository. And I sped this up because it took about 15 minutes. This is the Firefox codebase. Then, once this is done, we're going to go inside of this source directory and we're going to clone the Thunderbird codebase because Thunderbird is built on top of Firefox. And then I did the same for hg-clone comm central. That's the Thunderbird codebase. Then once you have those two, you can run mach bootstrap. What this does is kind of sets up your build environment, sets up some of your mercurial tools. You're presented with this option. What version of Firefox do you want to build? We want to build Thunderbird for desktop. So in this case, it needed a package called Watchman, so I had to give it permission to install that. And then it's going to ask you a bunch of questions, and you can generally go with all of the defaults. So it installs Rust and sets that up. Rust is used all over Firefox and newly within Thunderbird. The version control tools kind of set up some of the tools around Mercurial. It asks for your name and your email. So give it that and then just kind of go with all the defaults. You can hit enter. That is as if you had typed a capital Y and hit enter. So we're setting up extensions and things to make diagnosing bugs, easier. Clang, JavaScript, all these little nice to haves that kind of make it a little easier to work with the code base. And then it creates this .hgrc file in your home directory that you need to be able to interact with. So it said that I needed to restart my shell, so that's exactly what I did. I closed my terminal, I opened it again, and then I can go in there. I'm all ready to go to build Thunderbird. Oh, no, I'm not. Just kidding. I have to create this mozconfig file that specifically says use the comm mail project because that is Thunderbird. If you don't have this line or this file, it's going to build Firefox. Can't tell you how many times I've accidentally built Firefox. But once you have that, then you can just tell mach build. Now, I sped this up as well because it took about 30 minutes, I think. Depends on how much resources you give the system. But it should do its thing. And then once we're done, we can run our Thunderbird. Or Firefox if you wanted to build Firefox. As you can see, this is a pretty straightforward setup. You'll need to build Thunderbird if you want to contribute patches, or maybe you want to try and reproduce a bug that someone reported in daily, and you want to make your own daily build. If you want to create a patch, then you'll need to test it. And then look, once it's done, it says, hey, take your build for a test drive, run mach run. So if we do that, then it's gonna run Thunderbird. Yay! Thanks for joining me for this quick video, and I hope you have fun.